Hello, my name is Donna Lucas, and today I bring to you a PowerPoint presentation on interpersonal communication for Liberty University course HSCO 508. Slide. First, I would like to start off defining Stewart's definition of interpersonal communication. According to Stewart, interpersonal communication is a subset of communication in general. This means that collaboration, choices, culture, identities, conversation, and nexting are all a part of interpersonal communication. For those in the audience who are not aware of nexting, Stewart describes nexting as knowing what to say next in a back and forth conversation. It's reminding us that listening is not passive, but it is active. It requires us to respond. It requires us to be present. It requires us to be in the moment. This is basically a best practice to get the best quality and support in conversation and takes in consideration cultural competence and choices. Slide. My overarching goal or mastering goal is simply to strengthen relationships with the understanding of the individual's position within the conversation. I really want to understand where they're coming from, what position that they're taking, what are they trying to express from me, what is the need. In addition, understand the intent of what is being said and capturing the true essence of the conversation. My desire is to accomplish this with the love of Christ and the grace of the gospel. I want to be a person who is able to communicate clearly and effectively, most of all, leaving fear behind. I will say this, since I have taken this course, I have been more conscious regarding the techniques that I learned to use listening more effectively. Slide. Next are 4 textbooks that have been used in the course. I call this section the Mastering Resource because to me, master is not only to become good at something, but it's to become exceptional with it and to get a firm understanding. And these 4 comprehensive books will give you all the tools that you need for effective communication, listening, as well as talking. The first book is How to Solve the People Puzzle, and this is by Miles Carbonell. Miles Carbonell offers a detailed assessment to configure personality profiles. In these profiles, which are also known as temperament, he talks about blends, and he uses an acronym DISC, which is broken down in 4 letters. The next book is Bridges, Not Walls. In Bridges, Not Walls, John Stewart talks basically about different techniques of listening and conversations and trying to help us understand the whole process of the conversation and dialogue. He wants us to build bridges, make a connection with people. With so much baggage that we go through, we tend to build walls, and he explains how to really master the conversation piece. Next is Why Don't We Listen Better? by James Peterson. James Peterson and Why Don't We Listen Better talks about the flat brain syndrome. He talks about the stomach area and how sometimes we feel overloaded with different feelings, and these feelings don't have to be negative feelings, but they can be positive feelings as well. He also talks about the heart turning brick-like and brains going flat. He gives us a portable card-like, and he addresses the talker side and the listener side. This helps us to relax and think clearly and build empathy and basically come together with cooperation. In the listening book, Barley Allen talks about listening and gives us different self-awareness activities to really get a clear understanding. Slide. Next, I will be talking about enlarging the conversation. Enlarging the conversation is going beyond the basic dialogue between two people that is not passive. In this concept, we have to express our thoughts and feelings without accusing, attacking, labeling, and judging. And as the listener, we have the opportunity to listen calmly without defending, advising, but to clarify and to reflect. Next. Just to share a little bit about myself, I am a single mom of a 10-year-old boy. I was born in Maryland. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I have always had a love to communicate effectively amongst the leaders in my life. Slide. Next, I will discuss my true behavioral blend that I took from the Puzzle People book. My behavioral blend is IC, which is inspirational, competent. The I basically stands for active, people-oriented, which gives me a positive trait of inspiring, influencing, impressing, interactive, and interest in people. For the C side, it is passive, text-oriented, which leaves me conscious, competent, calculating, careful, and complacent. Next. Values within my blend are 3, but not limited to. Take long to come to a conclusion because of fear, and this is also found in my blend because I'm conscientious and contemplative. I tend to be outspoken and opinionated, which means I need to listen more instead of responding. And the last one, lack of cultivating relationships. As I mentioned with the C-oriented, these traits are carefree, and sometimes I can really be consumed with what is going on in my life and my needs, and I neglect the needs of others. This is something I will continue to work on. Slide. The noise pollution in my life happens internally as well as externally. Internally, I will struggle with thinking about what I'm going to say next in the conversation instead of listening fully to what the person is saying and then respond. External noise pollution may look like myself watching a television show, something that's very educational and interesting to me. Instead of pausing the television show and recording it, I will be consuming that show while the person is trying to have a dialogue with me. I know that now that it is best to focus on what is going on, because ultimately people are more important. Next slide. My plan of action is to be an effective listener and to understand the intent of the message and be in the moment, be present. This requires me being observing to nonverbals as well as a verbal communication process. In addition, I know this requires me to acknowledge how the person thinks and feels about the message. My plan of action is basically to master and study these books on a daily basis. I know reading the books one time will not be enough, but I will have to continue to read over and over to internalize this. Thank you so much. Slide ended.